Hello everybody, welcome to the Ozzimon Library. I'm your host, the Librarian, and welcome to Spooktober! Of course, October is Halloween month, and I am not going to shy away from the dark, the mysterious, the spooky, the scary of Halloween month. So, there are 4 Mondays in October. We upload every Monday, which means you get 4 Halloween-themed videos. And today, we are talking about Pokemon. I know, big shock, right? We're talking about Pokemon and precisely what would happen if we sent some Pokemon down to hell. We're going to send some Pokemon down to hell, and they're going to get tormented by the devil himself. So let's dive straight into it. The first Pokemon we're sending to hell is Jigglypuff. This mischievous little Pokemon likes to sing, but manages to put every single person in its vicinity to sleep via singing, which can cause a lot of strife, a lot of mischief, a lot of mayhem, and of course carnage, because what if they put a whole motorway to sleep, or a school to sleep, or doctors to sleep? They could cause a lot of mischief with this ability. So we're sending Jigglypuff down to hell. And of course, when the devil meets Jigglypuff, of course he's going to curse Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff gets cursed, and it does change Jigglypuff's form. But now, instead of putting people to sleep when Jigglypuff sings, it just cannot sing in general. Its singing ability has now become absolutely horrific. The singing causes people to cover their ears and run away in fear, in just wanting to absolutely get away from this horrific noise. This new singing ability that Jigglypuff requires just is like listening to an 80-year-old lady trying to sing newer day music. Let's just say the grandma likes boy bands, for example. It sounds something like that. Jigglypuff's new form revives the devil-like form that Pokemon doesn't ever really do, except that little imp dude that they did once. So we're making Jigglypuff a nice dark red. The devil gave it little horns, and because it's now, you know, like a hardcore, terrible singer, and it's trying to be more rock on, we gave a little quiff because, well, don't at me, okay? The Jigglypuff now has fangs and devilly eyes, you know, red glowy eyes, and is terrible at singing. Jigglypuff can no longer put its people to sleep, but it can torment them with its singing ability. Jigglypuff is honestly one Pokemon that definitely deserves to go to hell. But our second Pokemon maybe doesn't deserve to go to hell, but did anyway. What if a Chansey ever lost his egg? Just a curious question. Well, this specific Chansey did, and it got sent to hell for it. So, because it lost its egg, Chansey now completely has its pouch removed. The devil himself cursed Chansey with a scar to remind it that it used to have a pouch. The egg itself is now always going to pop up as broken eggshells wherever Chansey goes. Even if Chansey destroyed the eggshells, even if Chansey got a dustpan and brush, swept them up and put them in a mailbox and sent it to the outer rim of Antarctica, the eggshells are now cursed to Chansey. But not only that, all things baby Pokemon, all things Chansey loves to take care of, no longer can handle being around Chansey. Chansey now has these bell-ridden dreadlocks that make a very high-pitched tune that only baby Pokemon and young children can hear, making it so no young ones want to go near this particular Chansey, making it so it can't do what Chansey was made to literally do, care for people. Nobody wants to be around Chansey anymore. This particular Chansey is darker in colour, with bright dreads with bells on the end. Of course, we have a scar on its chest to represent the whole fact that it had its pouch removed, but also the shell of the egg is sitting next to Chansey, cursing it. Chansey now sits there and cries in absolutely sorrow because it can't care for anyone, not even its own egg. Our next Pokemon that got sent to hell is a Munchlax. Munchlax eats flipping everything. Any food. It'll literally steal food if it has to. So Munchlax got sent to hell for being very gluttonous. So what did the devil do to Munchlax? It cursed him with forever hunger, but made it so it can never feel full. And also made it, well, obviously it changes form, making it look like it's been starved. This takes very big inspiration from gluttony, one of the 7 deadly sins, but Munchlax is now very thin and very scrawny. Its face looks like it hasn't got any nutrients to it. It looks more tired now, and it is starving. This thing needs to eat, but it can't eat. This Pokemon is physically incapable of eating any food. Even if it managed to swallow the food, it will never feel hungry, but it also doesn't like the taste of any food now. Even us human food, like cakes and ice cream and, burgers and whatever else Munchlax can nick from a human, it no longer likes the taste of. So it's forever going to be starving. Now, obviously, this Pokemon sent to hell, so it's always going to be starving because it can't die. But yes, this particular Munchlax is now forever starved, but also doesn't like the taste of any of its favourite food anymore. As you can see by the design, we made it really wrinkly. The little lines on the Pokemon is meant to resemble, like, the flabbiness of what was its skin, like what was its fat, and its jawline is now kind of droopy. It's now very thin in the face, and it looks absolutely exhausted because it's not getting any of the nutrients, any of the good protein and all the things that food give you from the food that it needs to eat but cannot. And our last Pokemon that we are sending to hell is Aipom. Aipom is actually one of my favourite Pokemon, and it's a very mischievous little monkey, with an extra hand being its tail. But what if this particular Aipom got so mischievous it got sent to hell? The devil himself cursed this Aipom. Well, Aipom's best friend is its tail, its little extra hand. That's what the devil cursed. First off, it removed the tail from Aipom. Then, instead of attaching a new tail, it tied the tail around Aipom, making sure that it could never remove it. But Aipom will try to. It will spend his eternity in hell trying to remove the tail, fighting itself. But this tail now has a mind of its own. It's now claw-like. It's now very purple and looks absolutely disgusting. But as you can see, Aipom's now roughed up a bit. Its cheeky grin is now an absolute frown of misery. But as you can see, Aipom now has a black eye and is trying to get away from its own tail. That is because the tail beats up Aipom. Every time Aipom has a positive thought, the tail will do something to Aipom. Claw it, punch it, poke it, flick it, whatever a hand can possibly do to itself, the hand tail will now affect Aipom in any form. If Aipom has a funny, a cheeky, a positive thought, this tail beats the crap into Aipom. And there we have it, our 4 cursed Pokemon. 4 Pokemon that got sent to hell for doing something either mischievous, naughty, or something very specific in Chansey's case. But there we have 4 Pokemon that got sent to hell. These Pokemon obviously changed their forms, their loved abilities obviously all changed too. But let me know what you guys think down below about these 4 Pokemon that got cursed by the devil and got sent to hell. These Pokemon are actually really fun to draw, and I can't wait to dive more into our Spooktober. So, that being said, look out for the other videos. Of course, there are 4 Mondays in October, which means you guys get 4 spooky episodes of this channel. This particular one was Pokemon themed. I'm going to try and revert away from Pokemon for the other 3. I already have next week's planned. That being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic October, and of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss another video. The channel is actually doing really well the last couple of weeks, so thank you very much for those who have come back and checked out the channel. If you're new here, thank you for checking out the video. Let me know what you guys think about the 4 Pokemon Pokemon, their designs, and what other Pokemon would you send to hell and get the devil to torment? If you were the devil himself, what would you do to these Pokemon? I'm very curious to find out your thoughts. That being said, I love you all, roar of passion, and I shall see you guys in the next one.